Hey, what's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. I know you saw the title and was like, huh? That's right. Vince Vaughn was Meek Mill before Meek Mill. You know, he wasn't screaming all on the microphone making, CDs or anything. But what Vince Vaughn did will go down in history as the Meek Mill move. Even though he did it before Meek Mill. When Brad Pitt was out, he was the biggest thing ever. Everybody loved Brad and Jennifer Aniston. They were the ideal couple. And he signed on to do this film called Mr. and Mrs. Smith, as it was turned down by Will and Jada and a couple other people. Brad Pitt decided he liked the script, it was fun, he would do it. And Angelina Jolie was the co-star. And it was like they both got in cahoots to come together to do this thing. It's like, look, it's a project coming up, I'm attached to it. Why don't you get attached to it so we can meet up and we can get something going? Somebody else who was attached to this project was Vince Vaughn, who through Brad Pitt met Jennifer Aniston and was like, oh, you're so funny, I love old school. He was great because right then he just really had the old school fame, and that was basically, his coming out party. And then as a character actor, and here he was another character actor. He wasn't even in the script. He had about a good 30 minutes of screen time, but he stole the show. He stole the movie as the crazy character friend who was also an ex-hitman like Brad Pitt. And he was the funny comedy relief of the entire film. But what he noticed on the set is when Jennifer Aniston wasn't there, because she was busy going to do something else, he was noticing Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were getting mighty close in the set. Like when they yell cut, they just too close, and they, hugging and messing around and all this stuff, and he breaks the God code. After they finish filming, he runs into Jennifer Aniston and breaks the news to Jennifer Aniston on what he saw with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Brad and them argued. Next thing you know, Brad was out, and that was it. The honeymoon was over. There was a big fight. He was out. He wasn't thinking about coming back. And Vince Vaughn was like, you're my friend for life, Vince. He was that shoulder to cry on. And he had a hit coming out, a movie that was coming out at the time that came out right after the what's that? Mr. and Mrs. Smith, called Wedding Crashers. And Crashers was a hit. It put Vince Vaughn on the map. He was a big star, and he was the man to be dealt with on campus. Vince Vaughn had arrived. Now, with all this extra Hollywood attention, Vince Vaughn lives about 25 minutes from where I live right now, in Lake Forest. That's where he grew up. That's where all his friends are. Complete townie, very rich area, very prejudiced area, but it's Lake County. Now, now that Vince Vaughn is, Vince Vaughn, Jennifer Aniston is intrigued about possibly dating a Vince Vaughn who saved her, and she was in misery dealing with all of this on her own, as she had to see Brad move out and move in with Angelina Jolie. They're adopting kids right away. They're starting a family. That's all Brad wanted. So she sees this and goes, wow. Unbelievable. So she has to live with the tabloids, and they throwing up pictures of Brad and Angelina everywhere, and her looking lonely. Here comes the guy that was crazy about her, and from the first day he saw her, Vince Vaughn. And so, like Meek Mill, she and Nicki Minaj, here she comes, and they start dating. And now she's like, look who I got, Vince Vaughn, the it man in Hollywood, with the hit movie Wedding Crashers. So they had another script that they thought, man, if Jennifer Aniston was to do it, this would be great. They didn't think they were going to get Jennifer Aniston to play this role, in the breakup. Because he's like, well, these guys are dating in real life, and they weren't at this time breaking up or anything, but here it is, this film called The Breakup, and it was like, well, you're dating Jennifer Aniston. She read the script and was like, I could totally play this role. I like this. But they didn't think, doing with her thing with Brad. But she needed it. She's like, I need this movie. I need to laugh. And that's what I need right now. So right away, they went straight down to filming, and the breakup was a huge success, huge smash hit movie, making hundreds of millions of dollars in the box office, and probably Vince Vaughn's best movie to date. It became a staple of putting Vince Vaughn in a high figure situation, but now it makes their relationship more scrutinized, more cameras, more not social media, but tabloid, and people following them everywhere. And Chicago is not Hollywood, and Chicago is not made for inclusion. Like, I gotta hide from people and I can't be seen. It wasn't designed to take these type of areas out. People just normally leave people alone. They have security, get them to where they gotta go, and then that's it. They drive off, and then people go about their business. But in Hollywood, it's just a bit different. They got things blocked off. It's made for people to come take pictures of you, paparazzi. Vince Vaughn wasn't used to this kind of stuff. He's used to going to a ball game. One day he might come outside and didn't shave. He don't want to see that on a magazine. Like, my God, I just walked to the mailbox, and I got to get dressed up in Armani or something just to do that? I don't even wear Armani. So it just was so much stress, they had to break up. But Brad Pitt didn't want to have anybody or anything to do with Vince Vaughn. Like, all the photographs of him and Vince Vaughn was removed, like they had from the stills. He had those mostly taken off the internet. Brad is a very powerful man. There were certain things that Vince couldn't get in Hollywood that normally somebody of his status would have gotten. But all he did was stick with his best friends, and they didn't really blend in with the Hollywood crowd. It's mostly Justin Bateman, and that's how they relaunched his career. He just did little bit roles and like the breakup and everything else, and he started breaking out, doing his own films where Jason Bateman was reborn into Hollywood. But he pulled a Meek Mill, and the relationship didn't last. It was a recovery type thing, the rebound. And that's all that was, Meek Mill was the rebound guy. But we can't blame you, Meek. Vince Vaughn was before you. So you weren't the only one to go and snitch on somebody. I mean, I don't think he did it the way you did it, but, it's all the same. I'm out.